The question in this 10th message on the new birth is, what is our part? What do we do in the act of the new birth? How do we participate in bringing it about? That's the question for this message. Now, I'll give you the answer that I believe is in the Bible, and I'll state it in a couple of paragraphs, and then we'll go back and put some biblical foundation underneath it. But I think in this case it will be helpful just to say it up front and then to go back and build it from the text of 1 Peter 1. Your part in the new birth is faith. Faith in the crucified and risen Son of God, Jesus Christ, Savior, Lord, treasure of your life. So, what do you do in the act of new birth? You believe in Jesus Christ. That's what you do in the act of new birth. The way to participate in bringing the new birth about is by receiving Christ for who He really is, supremely valuable as the Savior and the Lord and the treasure of your life. When you do that, you are acting the new birth. You are acting out the event of the new birth. The new birth is the birth of faith. The answer continues like this. Your act of believing and God's act of begetting, your act of believing and God's act of begetting relate as an effect to a cause. God's begetting and your believing relate as cause and effect. You do the one, He does the other, simultaneously. Now, I know in my own experience, it has proved in the past, before I gave it some thought, to be a stumbling block to think of a cause-effect relationship simultaneously. We usually think of cause and effect as temporally first and then second. They're not simultaneous. But I'm arguing that in the begetting that God does, simultaneous is its effect, believing. The closest analogy I've been able to come up with is fire. Strike a match or click one of those little oven click things. As soon as there's fire, there's light. As soon as there's fire, there's heat. Before fire, no heat. And there doesn't appear to be, maybe in some rare philosophical way, there's a sequence here, but as far as I can tell, you got fire, you got light. You got fire, you got heat. And yet who would say light produces fire? Or heat produces fire? Everybody would say fire produces light, fire produces heat. And that's the closest analogy I can think of to God's begetting. When it goes click, there's faith. Click, there's faith. So, to sum it up, what I see in the Bible is that our part in acting the new birth, bringing it about, performing it, doing our part in it, is faith. That's our conscious experience. We are receiving Christ, the Lord, the Savior, the treasure, for who He really is. We're receiving Him. We're banking on Him. We're believing in Him. That's what we're doing. And the doing of that is the acting of the new birth. And God is begetting that. And as He begets it, we do it.